Hi guys, welcome to another video. So this video may seem like it's really not important, but I want to tell you how important it is and how grateful you're going to be after you watch it. So we're going to give you some advice, some tips when it comes to if you're living in an apartment where you have to go ahead and call for your own gas, like we have to here in our apartment. Our electric and our gas are separate, so even though they are under our landlord's name, technically, they are not part of our monthly rent, so we have to go ahead and take care of those bills separately. So when it comes to gas, we've called once or twice previously. We thought, you know what? It's pretty complicated for someone like us who we're not fluent in Spanish and we don't know all the tricks and scams. And I say that because even back in the United States, where we're from, we know all the tricks and scams. So when a foreigner comes to our country, we can warn them and say, hey guys, watch out for this. They do this at this company. Just like we're here in Mexico, our landlord had warned us and she told us, hey guys, pay attention when you're calling for your gas because they will, and I'm gonna go ahead and verbatim use what she said. She said in Spanish, they will rob you. Yeah. So pay attention. So thankfully she told us that information, and now we wanted to be able to pass that information on, not only to foreigners living in Mexico, but to anybody, someone who's moving from another Spanish country or moving from just wherever, even if they know the language, if they know Spanish, that they can know what kind of scams can happen here when you're calling for gas. So the clips that you're going to see in this video are just showing me going up to someone. So the way it works here, you can go ahead and just walk up to the gas trucks. So they'll be sitting out here like on the weekdays and even on Saturday in the morning, afternoon time. They'll be parked at different spots throughout the neighborhood. And we live here in Milenio, Santiago de Queretaro, so we see them parked around different blocks often. You can, option one, walk up to a truck and ask them if, hey, they can pass by your home or your apartment to get some gas. And, typically if they're not busy, they'll go ahead and swing by. Yeah. Or option B, you can go ahead and call the gas company on the phone. You can Google different gas companies and have it set up. And usually they can come the same day, pretty quickly, like within an hour, a couple of hours. I want to go ahead and put this out there. The first time that we called the gas company, we called Nieto Gas Company, Nieto, and our landlord had recommended that company. We didn't think anything of it, but we now realize that it is quite important to ask the locals what companies are reputable, because certain companies have a bad reputation, and if you're someone moving from another country here, whether it be from the US or whether it be from Uruguay or wherever, and you don't know, you can get scammed, and someone can go ahead and you won't know the local the tricks that they use to go ahead and steal money from you. So this time around, instead of calling the gas company, I walked up to a truck, like you see in the video, and I asked them to go ahead and swing by, which they did. You'll see my husband, he had to go upstairs to the roof and show the guy which tank.
Which tank put it in.
Yes, and I'm downstairs, so I just want to go ahead and just make a point to say that pay attention when there's usually two guys, right? So one will go ahead and hook up the hose to, there's like an external feed for the gas hose
outside of your building.
If they need to, they'll take a ladder, they'll go ahead and hook up that hose, and then they'll go up to your tank, wherever that may be, and go ahead and signal the guy who's downstairs in the truck standing by the meter, which will be in the back of the truck, to go ahead and press the button to start the gas. Number one, it seems awkward at first. It felt awkward for me initially to do it, but stand behind the truck and get close to the meter. You want to watch and see that meter is on 0 when they start running that gas into your tank. Yeah. Okay. And then you want to pay attention the whole time you're watching those numbers. That, for example, I asked for 500. I asked for 500 pesos of gas, which is kind of give or take between, I will say like $20 and $25 of gas, which will last us about a month. You want to make sure that when he hits the button to end it, you're at the pesos that you requested. So if you requested 500 pesos, it should say 500 pesos there.
Yeah. And also, when you get the gas or whatever, just make sure you pay attention to the amount of liters that they put in there. It's going to be on the receipt. And they're going to have it, like, for example, the first time the gas company we had gone with, they were charging pesos per liter. And the company that we went with today, they were charging 12 pesos per liter. And of course, you have to do the math, the difference. Like the first time they put in 47 liters and it added up to be right at 500. And then today they put in 41.5 liters, I'm thinking, something like that.
And my husband did that math. And he did 10 pesos, was it 12 pesos?
It was 12 pesos per liter.
And
so I did the math and it added up. But like my wife was saying, we see the locals doing it. I actually had seen my neighbor do it maybe a week or two ago. He had walked up to the truck and had him come down, and he stood right there with them watching the meter. So that's something that you always have to do, watch the meter when you having the gas being put inside your home.
And I just want to go ahead and just make it very clear. It has nothing to do with Mexico. This is just, anytime you move to any country, you have to learn, what scams are going on. You have to learn what companies you're dealing with. So it's always good, especially if you don't know the language, and they know that you don't know the language. Some people in the world, it just happens in general, anywhere in the world will take advantage of someone if they feel like, maybe you're not familiar with the language, or you just don't know the process of if you're trying to get gas and you don't know the process. So just pay attention to that. Mm-hmm. We wanted to go ahead and share that with you. So just make sure, whether you call, if you call, just know the first time that I called, I was stumbling on my words. It was really difficult.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm not fluent in Spanish, but you can call or you can approach a truck in the street and ask them to come to your place and go ahead and put the gas in. Could we have asked our landlord, and said, hey, can you please help us out? You speak Spanish, go ahead and call. Sure, but
she actually did that for us the first time.
She did it for us the very first time.
That's what I would recommend if you have the opportunity to have your landlord or your neighbor or somebody to help you out the first time, so you kind of get the feel of it. You understand how it works.
Right, and then for us, we're the kind of people that we don't want to just depend on somebody else all the time. So even though we didn't know the language, I just felt like we needed to go ahead and try to do the process ourselves and become just comfortable with it, even though you really are uncomfortable the whole time because you don't know the language. But we wanted to get familiar with the process. So I recommend, yes, have someone help you out the first time, but eventually you're going to have to do it yourself. And we wanted to do this video to show you guys it's possible. You can do it. Pay attention for certain things like you would anywhere in the world. Watch the meter, watch what's going on, and ask the locals, ask the people here in Mexico, hey, what company do you think is good? Because they'll tell you, don't call this company, it's not good, they're thieves, or call this company, they're more affordable, and they'll go ahead and give you that information and help you out. So we wanted to share this with you guys.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Wow.